In the quiet suburb of Willowbrook, where maple trees arched over cobblestone streets and front porches whispered of simpler times, there was a house on Hemlock Lane that glowed like a steadfast star each night. Its lone candle flickered in the attic window, a ritual performed by the home's reclusive owner, Clara Whitmore. To newcomers like Sarah Bennett, who'd rented the cottage across the street, the light was a mystery, a puzzle she couldn't ignore. Sarah had moved to Willowbrook in early autumn, seeking refuge from the cacophony of city life after a divorce. She spent her evenings sipping chamomile tea and watching the candles' flame dance behind Clara's lace curtains. At first, it was mere curiosity. But as weeks passed, the light became an obsession. Why would a woman in her 70s, who rarely left her ivy-clad home, keep such a vigil? "Probably senile," muttered Mrs. Porter, the neighborhood busybody at the weekly book club. "Or a widow's quirk, best not to pry." But Sarah did pry. She noticed how the candle appeared precisely at 7:30 p.m., how Clara's gnarled hands trembled as she struck the match, how her gaze lingered on the horizon as if awaiting a ghost. One blustery November evening, a storm rattled the town. Wind howled through the chimneys and rain lashed against Sarah's windows. Peering outside, she saw Clara's candle gutter and die. Without thinking, Sarah grabbed her coat and hurried across the street, clutching a flashlight. Clara said, "You're here about the candle." Sarah replied, I saw it went out. I thought you might need help." The house smelled of beeswax and old books. In the parlor, framed photos lined the walls. A young Clara in a nurse's uniform, a man in military dress uniform laughing on a porch swing, a yellowed newspaper clipping, local hero KIA in Vietnam. "His name was Henry. We married in '65, just before his deployment. Every night he was gone, I'd light a candle in our window. He told me once when he was huddled in some trench, the thought of that light kept him breathing. He came home, but the war, it never left him. Years later, when the cancer took him, I couldn't bear to stop. Now I light it for others, the ones waiting, wondering if their person will come back, so they know they're not alone." Does it help? Hope isn't about fixing pain. It's about refusing to let the dark win. The next evening, a second candle appeared, this time in Sarah's window. By December, a dozen flames dotted Hemlock Lane, kindled by veterans, parents of soldiers, and a young couple awaiting their adopted daughter. Clara's light had become a constellation, a silent promise that love outlives loss. On Christmas Eve, Sarah found a note on her doorstep. "Thank you for keeping watch." Inside was Henry's old Zippo lighter, its engraving worn but legible. "To Clara, my compass." Years later, when Clara's house stood empty, the candle still burned. Neighbors took turns lighting it, passing the lighter like a talisman. And in a veterans' hospital across the state, Sarah Bennett hung a lantern in her office window, telling patients, "Someone's always waiting." The light endured, because sometimes all it takes is one flame to remind the world that dawn is coming.